All right, buddy. Floor is yours. Talk about your girl.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 41 of Cap Raise, a Last Cloudia podcast. Today, I'll be leading, talking about Jean, but of course, DK with me. We don't have Zero today, unfortunately, but that's okay. He would have been salty that I got. No, I'm just kidding. Um, no, so yeah, we got Jean, and then we also have the arc that came with her. I'm looking at the stream, and the screen looks blank.
It just took a second to adjust. You're good.
Oh, you go. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it should be. Up.
Okay, so Jean, we're real quick. I'm not gonna go, super into detail about her whole kit and everything because as of right, by now everyone should already have seen her trailer and know what her kit is. But I'll talk about a few things about her just that I like. So for starters, she's the knight. We don't really get a lot of knight,
No.
typings. We usually it's like soldier. For the most part, it's soldier. If you see in the background, she turned white, or her outfit turned white. Pretty neat. Her stats: SDR 1445, defense 1525, and then M&D 1085. Overall, really nice stats. I like them. Her attribute resistances, the only negative she has is Earth, and even then, it's only -10. Usually, whenever a unit comes out, they have a particular element that they're weak to, and when they're weak to it, it's like, I don't know, -30, right? -20. But she only has -10, so that's pretty nice. Her ailment resistances, she's res to poison, blind. She's nil to stun and illness. That's pretty sick. She is weak to curse, unfortunately, but that's okay. You can easily get around that, no problem. So her abilities, her S1, it reminds me of Virgil's S2, where it's kind of slow at the start, but once you use that first one, you can just chain it back to back to back so long as you have stocks. Her S2, you can do it from anywhere on the map. It just charges in. And the neat thing about her S2 is that it's exactly 20 SCT. So you only need skill charge 2 to get a stock. That is important mostly in PvP. PvE, obviously, if you get a stock right to start, that's pretty good too. But it's very good in arena. Her S3 is her DPS. It's insanely quick. It's 16 hits. I didn't take the time to count the SCT on it. It is 2 stocks though, so unless you have like Purple Orb or are running Stardust Live, you're only gonna have 2. So her traits, the biggest thing that I like from her traits is her trait 1, the Heirs to Umbra Witches, which is the battle start and when revived, give all enemies the atrophy debuff, which is a -30% damage dealt for 10 seconds. It does only last 10 seconds, but every 10 seconds, so long as she's at 80% HP or more, she reapplies it. So she has the potential to keep this debuff constantly up, which is pretty insane. And with that debuff and her being tanky, she can pretty much have that all the way up, or all the time. Her trait 2, she takes, less damage whenever she has Witch Time activated. And the cool thing is, just like Bayonetta, she can activate Witch Time from physical attacks, but this time Jean can also activate it from magic attacks. So now she has 2 chances to proc Witch Time, which is very nice in my opinion. She won't faint from enemy attacks. Pretty neat. So as far as skills, this is all generic. She comes with auto high protection. Not many units come with auto high protection. That's very nice. A constant -35% physical damage taken. Sick. Let's see what else. So her unique ones, you're worthless, Witch Time buff, active when taking lethal damage from a physical/magic attack, survive with 1 HP until that attack ends 2 times per wave. So previously we had something similar to this, which was from the Persona collab, which was on Morgana, which was called Endure. But this time it activates twice instead of once like Morgana. So that's pretty neat. Be Gone, she gets more damage and damage cap with the number of debuffs that the enemy has, max 50% and max 5,000. This one is that all. When unit has a debuff, damage dealt plus 20%. When unit has a status ailment, damage taken minus 20%. So I think this is very great. normally whenever it says when unit has a debuff, you're thinking, oh man, how am I ever going to like constantly keep that up? And there is a way to do that. Um, the last one, I stake my honor as an Umbra, damage taken from Night God Spirit, Stone types minus 10%. Very cool. So let me go ahead and go into this one. When unit has a debuff, damage dealt plus 20%. So you can have that pretty much up all the time so long as she doesn't die. And you can do that by making use of a skill called Masquerade, which is on the Halloween Night Drive, the most recent Halloween arc. Battle start, give a random type to unit and continues until incapacitation. So for 1 SC, you get a free 20% more damage, which is very nice. As far as the second part of that, which is the status ailment, you can also, we're very limited on ways to apply that. And as far as I know, right now, one of the 2 ways that you can apply that is by having Yuletide Mistletoe. Battlestar inflicts silence on unit and recovery magic power plus 12%. So it gives a res to curse, which she's weak to. So now she'll be neutral to curse. And so long as you're not res to silence, you'll get this debuff at the very start every single time. And the other way to get an ailment on yourself, which isn't really ideal, is by making use of Emil Head, Battle Start, inflict unit with curse. Obviously, that is horrible for Jean because she won't be able to use her skills. But if for whatever reason you want to, make use of that minus 20% damage taken and you don't have Mistletoe, there you go. That's an option. But also, you can make use of a skill called Wrath, which is on Phantom's Crow. When an ally is incapacitated, give unit Rage. If you don't know, Rage counts as a status ailment. So what Rage does is it gives you 20% STR at the cost of minus 20% defense, and you also cannot cast spells whenever you have Wrath on you. So there's pros and cons to it, but that is another way that you can make use of that second part of Jean's skill. So overall, I personally like her kit. As soon as I saw that atrophy debuff at Battlestar and when Revive, I immediately thought of Arena. And we don't usually do Arena showcases when we do the podcast, but for this particular unit, I want to take her and I will take her into Arena so you guys can see. She normally in Arena, it's like either you do, big dick damage, you're a tank, or you're a mage. But Jean can be tanky. Innately, she's not tanky to the point to where like Gorm, Murren, or Granadas, but she can be made tanky enough to, if you have like, for instance, enough DPS on your team, she can be the sole tank so long as your DPS takes care of everyone else before they take care of Jean. So but again, the biggest thing is that minus 30% damage dealt. So very nice. Anything you are excited about her, DK?
Oh, yeah, dude. So I recently just got her. So I've been trying. I got her like 2 days ago, I think. I got shitted on the actual daily on the day that she came out. I like I said, I only did the paid step up and then a couple of free. So I really want the arc, and we'll touch base on the arc and the reason why, why we all love it. I really like that she's a single will thunder unit. Just because we have what's his name, Lanceable, but yeah, I got him kind of late in the game, so when she came out, I knew she'd probably be a lot better. My excitement was the minus 30% reduction as well. And immediately I thought of Arena. So I think she's a really fun unit. For people that do not have Gen at the moment, I think she's a great add to your list because we don't know if Gen's ever coming back. We don't really have many physical damage reductions outside of Lineage's Charisma. So which was really fun to test, the Charisma and this buff as well. That was a lot of fun testing that. So it works really well. because most of the time you do have a mage running on your team, on your three-party team, or a support, whatever have you. So no, I really do like the character. Just a couple of nitpicks here and there that I had, and I expressed in my video. But overall, it's really, really solid. Love the defensive side of her. So, and then like you said, arena. So yeah, I actually haven't really tested her in her arena yet, so I'm excited to see what you have on your findings for that. Let's move on to that real quick.
Sweet. Yeah. Let's go ahead and let's cover the arc real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
So the arc overall, the traits, nothing amazing.
No.
I'm sure you guys have seen, the trailer and have already seen the arc, but just very quickly, the traits. So skill damage to airborne enemies plus 20%. Alright. When unit is airborne, damage taken minus 20%. So I mean, I guess this is okay. We don't generally have things that reduce damage while you're getting juggled, and I only think this is okay because of arena, right? Once the flinch res on pirate ship or like the barrier gives up on Theria's barrier, you are prone to getting juggled. So I guess this some way can help you, but not really. During battle, unit and highest SCR allies max HP plus 15%. Okay, nice little boost, but nothing crazy. Sword or machine equipped attack specials have a chance to deal critical damage. Listen,
yeah, they need to stop.
We all know how we feel about specials.
Yeah.
This is just,
they need
shit.
to stop, man.
They need to. If they're gonna promote special usage, you better give me a unit that can use a special within 10 seconds or something. I don't know.
Yeah, imagine like a special doing all crits and stuff. That'd be kind of cool.
So moving on to the skills. Tech up 2, we got it. Witch Heart, nice. For 3 SC, you get 10% more HP. It's I like the icon.
Yes.
It's
Great.
it's great. I like it a lot. God Shield, we already have this. This one though, oh my god.
Okay. 4 SC.
Pulleys Butterfly for 4 SC. Battle start, give a damage taken minus 20% buff for 20 seconds. This is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And it's a unique skill, but the icon itself, we've already seen it before. And units like Spirit Maiden Theria, whenever she does her S2, that buff icon is the same exact as Pulley's Butterfly, except this is minus 27% versus minus 20. But the fact that we can have an arc that gives a skill that gives that buff at battle start, that's insane. Another source to where you can find this buff is from Solaris. Solaris has a minus 50% damage taken for 20 seconds. OG Sevia's ult is also minus 50%, but you have to use her ultimate to have that. So we do have sources, but this is the very first time we can actually teach that skill, So this is a huge win for me on this arc. Auto Brave, already seen it. Thunder Critical Rays, we finally get it, and of course it's on an LR arc because why not?
Because she's missing it in her kit.
Yeah.
They're jerks, man.
Look, they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I just knows
they
what
could
they're
have
doing.
gave us that and then just put it on the arc for like future preference, but no. It's
But
fine.
I think in my eyes, the winning skill on this arc is this Pulley's Butterfly. For me, that's what it is. Everything else, Thunder Critical Rays, Witch Heart, awesome, cool. But Pulley's Butterfly, 100% the win for me.
I think when arena players saw that, they're like, "I'm sorry, what?" And then we're like 6, 7 SC. Okay, that might be worth. And then it comes out to be 4. It's like, whoa.
That's insane.
That's nasty.
And I mean, I don't think it's too crazy because we have the arc from DMC5, which gives that time to kick some ass, which is a 20% physical damage buff for 3 SC for 40 seconds. So, it's not crazy in the sense that we haven't received this type of generosity, but it's still insane.
Yeah.
So the Arc Ether reward. Moon Pearl,
Love it.
70 MP, huge MP stat stick. Int, 50 int, and then 5% more MP on the trait because of why not? Basically, it's just a huge MP stat. If you really need it and want it, there you go. And it also gives you curse res as well as silence res. So I like it. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's good. It's the first time I saw an LR and I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh no, this is good. This is good. Thank you, Aiden.
Right?
This is a great job. Yeah, this is great. Curse res and silence. Like, that's really good. For longer fights like Kraken, you definitely want to keep your MP up, so 5% more on that. Really good.
So yeah, overall, I personally like Jean a lot. The arc I also really like. I don't have it, unfortunately, but maybe one of these days I'll get lucky and get it. Let's go ahead and talk about her page real quick because they are actually pretty nice. Oh, I already got them, so let me go look at them. Okay, so her sword, Angel Slayer, Thunder attribute. We don't really have a lot of Thunder swords, so if you spent money trying to get her, you probably should get her sword, right? Because I'm assuming you have credentials. I'll explain that reasoning here soon. But 285 STR, of course, I do have it at plus 40 from the event. You can upgrade it. 53 M&D. Chance for skill attacks to give a physical damage minus 20% debuff. Very nice. I think we have one other weapon that does that. Oh, let me look at it real quick. Here we go. Godfetter. Chance for regular attacks to give a enemy a physical damage minus 20% debuff. So this is on regular attacks. John's is on physical attacks. Or skill attacks. Sorry, not physical attacks. Yeah, it's skill attacks.
Sorry.
And then with only one weapon is equipped, thunder damage plus 20%, and then damage cap plus 3,000. Nice. And then in the event, otherworldly, you get 20% more damage dealt. So
they're gonna bait me with this, man. I already feel super baited, like I do. It's like you get her on tickets, but you're still like, okay. And you look through your Thunder Sword list, and you're like, damn, nothing there.
We have so little Thunder Swords, dude.
Like pull the Thunder Swords, like that's it.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
Minus is paid. That's it. It's super rough.
The best Thunder Sword is the Galzian Thunderclap, which you get from doing tours, and that's it.
Which even tours are kind of like really grindy sometimes. So you're gonna have to wait if you haven't started yet. So Bloody Moon is gonna be your best bet if you haven't started tours yet.
Right. And then the Voltage one, I think this was from... Was that from Lance or was that from the Nier?
That looks like... Oh god, those like Lance's. I think that might be... There's so many weapons.
I can't remember.
I cannot remember. I usually just click go, accept.
So her paid armor, Jean's clothes, it's a cloth. SCR 57, defense 261. Again, I do have it at plus 40, so some of those stats. Hell yeah, I got both of them bitches, boy.
I didn't know you went that hard. Okay. Oh, you didn't go that hard. You got her off tickets.
No, I got her from the first step of the discounted step up. Yeah. Okay. So I got super lucky, and I was like, you know what? Of course, I'm gonna get her paids.
Nice.
So yeah, 261 defense, 157 M&D, continuous regen effect. That's 11 SC that you save. Very nice.
Yes.
Chance to nullify damage taken from physical and magic attacks. So this chance isn't like super high to where it's like, hey, get this, but it also comes with nullify anti-night type effects. So basically, she'll never get hit with Night Slayer, Human Geyser, or Night. We don't have Night Geyser, but I'm gonna say Human Geyser because of Maja. Human Buster, which has Night Slayer on the specials, which Vayne has Human Buster, Yuri has Human Buster. So basically, she'll never get hit with Night type effects, anti-Night type effects. Oh, I think my screen went.
No, it just for a second.
Oh, it went back. Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
You're good.
Okay, so Jean has minus 10 Earth, But if you give her clothes, now she has neutral Earth. This is mostly for arena, but yeah, I thought I'd point that out. No ailment resistances, unfortunately. It would have been nice if there was like a curse res here, but I think at that point I'm asking for too much. In the otherworldly event, she takes 20% less damage. So basically, if you are adamant about arena and want to use her in arena, in my opinion, she is best used as a tank or like an off tank because of this anti-knight type effect. It's insane. This takes her survivability through the roof.
And if I'm not mistaken, that might be the highest defensive close.
Let's find
Looking
out.
at most of them here, I think that 61.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Got a
Nice.
big stat stick. Which is great because that's what we wanted to be. We wanted to be tanky.
Yeah. So like if you happen to, you know, if you're thinking about getting her paids, it really, if you're more like PvE, if you want to use her for PvE, sure, that's totally up to you. You'll get the sword, you'll get more mileage out of this sword. But if you're adamant about using her in PvP, or you are just adamant about arena to begin with, I think getting her clothes is more important than her sword. Don't get me wrong, the sword also has its use in arena because of that debuff that you can apply. And since she's going to be tanking, you know, most of the DPS should be going to her, so she has that chance to debuff them in the process of getting hit. So that just increases her survivability and potentially everyone else's survivability from physical damage dealers. But yeah, overall, I like her paids. I think there's one for the PvE and then there's one for the PvP. Should you be adamant about either one? What do you think about the paids, DK?
Shit. They're both freaking really good. One, sword is non-existent really in any area, and the clothes, you make the strong point there is that she has the anti-knight, which right now the meta in PvP is more likely Vayne, and, you know, because I believe lightning, that's where it was when Ray came out. We were getting smacked by Ray, and then we had Vayne come out, and then now Vayne was dominating the Rays. It's just like, it's like that back and forth with lightning and Earth right now. And the fact that she nullifies the anti-Slayer type from Vayne will help survivability in there, also while neutralizing some or nullifying some damage taken with that chance. So it's really cool to see these two units like battle out in PvP, because like I said, and she's not just a tank though, and that's why she's gonna be like, if you think her instead of Mern's not really dishing out damage. She's providing the defensive side and while providing a physical side, while your real physical side is taking, you know, even more damage. So like the allures keeping you going. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can think about the mechanic when it comes to that, especially with like the nerf of spell render. So yeah, no, they're really solid. Like it's a great idea if you really adamant about PvP. Though I really don't know which one to go for, because that -20 physical down is really good too on skills. That's something we don't see often as well.
Yeah,
oh
and
man,
just to throw it out there, while that debuff is really good in itself, you know, realistically, it probably won't come into play that much.
Yeah.
Just because of like your other DPSs, like, you know, taking care of the enemy. So like, while it is great, you probably won't see it like all too often, but it's still great that she has that, right?
You really could get away with just using the thunderclap or something else, and just relying solely on the armor.
Yeah,
it's a really good, yeah, no, really solid. But then for PvE, we definitely like that nullify everything. So which is really, I think is a really good talking point too, is because a lot of people are struggling on Kraken right now, so a lot of newer players, and using that cloth to get nullify the MND and the defensive down mechanic from him helps out greatly too. So you probably wouldn't be using the paid. So
right,
really just depends on what kind of player you are. You're more PvE, you like the multiplayer, I would go with the sword. If you're more PvP oriented with arena, I would go with the clothing, which now got me thinking, because we could see a lightning sword down the road. We really could, and it could you could replace it at some point. Where the clothes, I don't really see much replacing it, and it's a collab, so we don't know if it's ever coming back. So something that could possibly be replaced versus something that probably will not be replaced. That's what you got to think about.
Yeah, he's got a good point there. One thing that I glossed over that I should point out. So, whenever the enemy procs Witch Time on Jean, she gives a physical and magic attack damage taken plus 20% debuff to the enemy that activated the Witch Time buff. So not only does she, debilitate their damage by the attribute debuff, and then if you happen to run, the sword, that minus 20% physical damage, she also gives them a debuff to give your physical damage dealers or your magic damage dealers to do more damage. So that's pretty great. And with her giving these two debuffs, I thought it was going to be like one unique icon, but it's actually two separate ones, which also helps get into her one skill, the Be Gone, where she gets more damage and more damage cap. So that's pretty great. Like if you're running her sword, which gives that debuff, and she has the attribute debuff, as well as having these debuffs, she basically has 4 debuffs, so she can get 40% damage and 4k cap almost up all the time. So that's pretty great. So speaking of Kraken, let's go ahead and take her into Kraken. I have a rough team set up, just because Kraken never crosses my mind, but I do know that that's an area where people do tend to struggle. But I have a makeshift team here. Obviously, Jean's going to be the main DPS. Gorm is there to help keep Theria alive, or actually Jean alive. I should give that on Theria.
Yeah, I did this run today. This was actually what I've been building for it entirely because of what I wanted to show. Yeah, because Kraken does debuff the crap out of you. So that's why I was more or less using those clothes for this fight, per se.
Yes.
And, yeah.
So DK brings up the debuffs, and with that being said, although her clothes is really good, for this particular fight, you might want to run Rogue Tailcoat, because Kraken does decrease your defense and M&D, which is a huge debuff to your survivability.
I think it's a 35%, man, because it's big.
Is it?
I think so.
I was under the impression that I was like 50, because your M&D...
wow. If it's like, if we don't have it in the game, then never mind. I'm just thinking of what we have in the game, as far as like our...
I say that because like your Proud Force procs go from like, I don't know, 800 down to like 50.
Oh, I didn't even catch that. So
I'm under the impression it's 50%.
Oh, yeah, it's huge. It is massive. It is absolutely massive. So this is so important to run, and it's on a general arc.
Yeah. If you don't know which arc that is, it's on the Stardust Live, which came with Tinkili right here.
So my strat for this fight was to maintain that debuff. Also, I was running Goddess Kiss and Celestial Mass with Honey Elixir to keep her above that 80%. So that, and then since your Goddess Kiss procs are so good against this fight because it is weak to lightning, it was between 350 to 500 on her Goddess Kiss proc. I was more or less trying to like kind of semi-solo it. I used John, Gin, and Theria. Theria because of the M&D attacks that he does throw out, and they're very heavy. So you'll get to see all that stuff too.
Give her Fish Slayer real quick.
I didn't use that, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
I didn't. No, I didn't use it.
I'm gonna use it just so I don't have to use
right.
Sharp Eyes.
I was surprised she caps really well in this fight without a lot of multipliers for damage. I was really impressed with that.
Yeah, we'll give Celestia Mass too, just because. Well, I guess it's kind of counterintuitive if I'm running Dusk.
Oh, sure. 50.
Yeah, I'll just give her Giant Killing, whatever. Okay, so this is what I have on her. We'll do set only. So Giant Killing 2, this is just for the damage cap and the damage. This is on Holy War. You don't have to use it, but I'm doing it just because the damage cap. Thunder High Drive, we have this on Mecha Cannon or the Mecha Dragon. Goddess Kiss, we have this on the day 1 arc, March of the Saints. Zodiac, again, just for the damage cap. This was on the New Year's arc that you had to buy. Yeah. So I got to mention that. You had to buy
You
it.
have to buy it. It's $100.
Fish Layer, A-to-C, Doppelhander boost, just for more damage cap. Special boost, gotta run that with Fish Layer. Swordian Might, this was on the Tails collab, and I'm running that because
So good.
Thunder Sword, and she's a Thunder unit.
Yeah.
Dusk, self-explanatory. Masquerade, again, this is for that 20% damage dealt that she gets for having a debuff. All right, so Gorn, just generic tanking stuff, nothing too crazy. Shine Plate for the allure and the physical damage taken minus 20%. I got a lot of limited stuff, but the point is just to make him as tanky as you can.
Yeah.
Theria, she's just there to heal.
Debuff.
Let me take
you
this
buff.
stuff off. Yeah. I have my Theria is pretty unique in the sense that you guys would never use her like this. So don't use what I'm using. Otherwise you'll get screwed pretty bad.
Your glass record?
Yeah, my glass record stuff. Ice damage, no attribute. So the Kraken does no attribute damage as well as doing ice. So we're gonna run Thunder Wall 2 as well as no attribute wall.
Yeah.
We can also give her, the simple debuffs. But a lot of people overlook simple debuffs, but making use of Blazer, Lastoma, Drain, Nemesis, these simple debuffs make a huge difference in the fights. We can run.
Oh, because you're not using yours. Because you're using you're keeping your MP up. I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the build I used for this was it was really unique for me because I don't really build like that, and it was I actually had a lot of fun building. And that's what's fun about her is the building ideas that you can get with her are pretty fun. So that's always good. Sometimes whenever you have to constantly build something, you start to learn more about the game. So that's also a really good thing too.
Yeah. So for the arcs on Theria, this one just to help her, magic or healing magic casting speed be quicker. Gorm just to tank Kraken more. And then this solely for the damage cap, and then gradually boost SCR. But I'm really just doing it for the damage cap. If you want to if you don't have that, you can run Swordsman's Tail. This one's pretty great, 40% damage since the Kraken is huge. What else could you run? There's tons of other arcs, but if you're looking for damage, Swordsman's Tail is not a bad option. Believe it or not, Unchained Beast is actually pretty good because there's a chance to evade magic attacks, which the Kraken does do magic attacks. It's a 30% chance to evade, as well as taking a minus 30% damage from the magic attack. And then you get physical damage right here. I can't remember if the Kraken... Oh, the Kraken applies blind. I believe Kraken applies blind. So, in the event that she gets blinded and gets cured, now she gets SCT back, as well as movement speed and an additional 20% physical damage buff. So you could run that, but just for the sake of me liking damage cap, I'm going to go ahead and use Arc being El Giovanni.
Yeah. Still amazing art. 50 gems, Jaw. Oh boy.
No. Stop. Don't remind me. Okay, so I'm gonna let Theria do her thing. For the most part, I'm just gonna try to control Jean. See if we can get some MP back real quick.
Yeah, it takes a little bit. Her autos are so cool. Her autos are actually straight out of the game. Really, really cool. They don't showcase the autos in the videos.
Look at that, capping on the MP. God,
yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good.
And if you notice up here, so there's that debuff on Kraken, which is from her paid sword, which is cut physical damage dealt. There's the atrophy, and then this is just from Theria. And I had mentioned that her S1 was like Virgil or Virgil's S2 because I'll do it real quick. Look at she has a little bit of a wind up on her S1. See that wind up? But if you use it and you just spam it, okay, real quick, she applied those other two debuffs. The increased physical damage taken and then increased magic damage taken. So now we are set on debuffs. Now she's getting 50% damage as well as the 5k cap. Okay, so again, a little bit of wind up, but then if you just spam it, see after that initial one, you can use it pretty quickly.
And if you notice, Gorm gets the 2 debuffs while he no longer gets them, so his strength doesn't diminish. He can continue with the Goddess Kiss right there, and his defensive side still stays up.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
Okay, so as DK was saying, there is that debuff. See, okay, so Theria already cleansed the M&D debuff, but Kraken also applies a defense debuff. And because we have that robe or that cloth on Jean, she is not affected by those 2 debuffs at all.
$1,000 on those procs, man. Really good.
Okay, I'll hold off on attacking.
Right here. Takes no damage at all. And you have your Witch Time buff up. To go away.
Yep.
I love the Witch Time buff. Oh, that does help out so much. Oh, that's what gets scary about those.
I know. Okay, there you go.
All right, now you're about to get 10 seconds. Here we go. And it just gets stronger.
I don't think Theria has any debuffs applied. You know, we'll go ahead and do a little bit of it. Okay, so she's got... Let's go ahead and apply the Stoma again real quick.
You get a minus 35% on the special too, I think, right?
Defense.
Yeah.
That's right. We'll use the ultimate to lower its defense by 35%.
Really cool animation. I love this.
Look at that. Boom. Minus 35%.
All right, be nice, Kraken. No tidal wave. Let him get his
no
shit
tidal
back.
wave, please.
Yeah, let him get his stuff back.
Come on.
No.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Give me some MP.
He gets a huge defensive buff here, so your Goddess Kiss drops.
Oh. Look at that. Okay. Okay, I don't think we're gonna get any more than that.
Yeah, no.
But we're also not taking that too much damage, so.
this fight is this is a really good testing area, man, for like fights. I love testing Kraken. Probably debuff the MND, the defensive. You don't have a defense buff on him.
No, I don't think I gave there, of course.
I saw you put one on, didn't you?
Oh, that's just from
Oh, you didn't bring it.
John's. Yeah, I didn't bring it.
Oh no, you're no death, bro.
Fine, don't worry. We got Theria to the rescue.
Yeah, normally on this phase, you're gonna want to debuff the defensive enemy because he gets an insane.
Okay, we're gonna get it.
Yeah, just 10 seconds. 10, 9.
Oh no!
8, 6. Oh no, you're not gonna do it. Come on.
Come on,
7,
come
6, 5. Oh, he healed.
Oh.
He healed. No.
Well, there you see.
Damn it. All because you didn't.
It's all right.
But,
We showcased the
it's okay.
survivability.
Yeah, so all
she
you gotta
brings.
do there is debuff him on the defensive side of him, and you'll nuke him. But yeah, really great unit for people that have not been able to complete Kraken yet. So she's definitely going to help you out a lot.
So, obviously, in PvE or even like multiplayer, you probably want to take her where she has the elemental advantage, or where a boss doesn't have too much thunder res, because she can't make use of Trishula. She is locked to swords. You can always, of course, just use debuffs, right? Like what is it? Icy Circle, Weak, and then if you really want to, you can also run Mecha Dragon, which gives a Thunder Res debuff on regular attacks. So right there you have minus 60 Thunder Res that you can make use of. Okay, let's go ahead and go into Arena. All right, let me go ahead and show you what I have on Jean.
He's got Yuri.
Yeah, manually.
He's fun manual. No,
Okay.
and that's what I told people is that on manual, that dude is a lot of fun to use.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what I got on Jean. So obviously, for Arena, her cloth is 100% best in slot. You can make use of, Shining Gold Plate, which gives the allure as well as the physical damage taken and a chance to nullify physical attacks. The sword, I'm using the sword because of this debuff that you can apply. If you, for the sake of tanking, you can opt to not use this and instead give her a spear, so that you can make use of spear high boost, because she's not going to be there to deal damage, right? She's just there for survival, to be the tank. And spear high boost is a minus 15% physical damage taken. She doesn't lose any like survivability by not using a sword, so it's perfectly fine to put a spear if you want her to solely be, a tank. Okay, so as well for the accessories, Arena, we don't really do a lot of Arena showcases, but when it comes to Arena, you want to use the best gear possible that you have on her, or that you have on your account. And with that being said, you are going to see a lot of limited gear as well as limited skills on her. But after I showcase what I have on her right now, I'll try to make a, I guess, free to play friendly build, so that way if people want to use her but don't have the limited stuff, you have an option. Okay, so for the gear, Goddess Shield. This is a collab on the Trials of Mana, I believe. Let's see real quick. It was on Flemmy and Vuskov, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
hate
No,
you.
the other one. This one.
I hate
Trials
you.
of Mana remake. So at first glance, when this first came out, we thought it was, well, not we. I didn't think it was super amazing. But on Jean in particular, it's good because it comes with nil
It's
curse
insane.
as well as a chance to she doesn't need the stun res or the poison
No.
res. It's for the curse res as well as the chance to auto guard. Now, I know you'd be saying, "Oh, why do you need this? This is literally one SC." Yes, I understand. It's one SC that you can use. But also um curse nil as a teachable costs you 8 SC. And in arena, you want to min-max your SC as much as possible. And this saves you SC, well, technically 9 because of guard. This is basically guard. So 9 SC right here, and she makes good use of it. Now, the reason curse is important is because naturally she is weak to curse. So this puts her at curse res, and then amulet of vow, which gives a res to every ailment, now puts her at nil.
Yeah. So
Amulet of
also,
vow also, you take 10% less damage when you have 2 or more allies alive.
right.
So
So side note on the
uh,
amulet, there's also a secondary option if you're just looking for the reses, and that's the Czar's ring from the metal shop. There you
Yep.
go. That will help you out as well.
So yeah, that's why I'm using this particular setup on the gear. As for the skills, Stone Enhance, like I said, you want the best of the best, and you want to min max, all possible SC that you can get.
Yeah.
Stone Enhance, this is on a UR. This is on Grapple's UR, if I'm not mistaken. Physical damage taken minus 15%. Stone World, self-explanatory. It does give you the stone typing, so it does make you susceptible to Stone Slayer and Stone Geyser. I don't think we have units that have Stone Buster, at least not yet. But Bayonetta actually also has Stone Slayer, so there's going to be very few units that can actually hit her with the Slayer damage.
You can also increase Bayonetta's layer damage, or by
Yeah.
stone damage with the certain arc by 100%. So she's a good competitor against Jean as well. So
Yeah. So apart from getting the stone type, you also get 20% defense, which is, normally I'm not huge on stat, increases, but the 20% defense is pretty nice. But the biggest thing with Stone World, nullify piercing effects from enemies.
Yeah,
This is absolutely huge. And the reason I say that is because people do run Terror of Grana Seas, which when an axe is equipped, chance to reduce enemy defense by half and deal damage. This chance is a 40% chance to just cut your defense in half. That's a huge cut. That's a huge piercing effect. So Stone World just completely nullifies that, and not just piercing from this arc, but like skills from piercing. If I'm not mistaken, Lagrin has a skill called Diabolos, which also has a chance to reduce, I think, attribute as well as defense. Let me look real quick. Yeah, Diabolos.
him and Degrog have it, right?
Yeah. I think someone else, I forget who. I feel like someone else also has this. So skill attacks have a chance to greatly reduce defense and / attribute resistances and then deal damage. So it gives her huge survivability. Okay, so from zero, like I said, you want the best of the best. This is absolutely huge.
No,
in
that arc's trash,
arena.
man. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. Someone said from zero was trash. I 100% agree. Don't run this.
I think they specifically said that all units and arcs in R0 were useless and trash. So yeah, that was said.
Couldn't agree more.
That's insane.
So from 0. When taking lethal damage, MP to 0 and HP greatly recovers. So this is a 9,999 heal. And then, if that wasn't enough, for 10 seconds, minus 50% damage taken once per wave. So this minus 50% damage taken also shares the same icon as Theria's S2 buff, Solaris damage taken buff, as well as now the Police Butterfly buff. So this is huge. Minus 50%, nice. Celestial Mass, when taking physical damage, use 3 MP to half the damage taken. This goes in conjunction with the. I'll go to it. I'll get to it soon enough. But if you want a unit to absolutely tank, you're going to give them Celestial Mass, because this is a flat cut in the damage they do. Just minus 50% damage taken from physical attacks. It should be noted that it does cost 3 MP and it'll only activate for 1 hit. So if a skill has like 20 hits, if you only have 3 MP, only 1 hit is gonna have that damage reduced. But if you have, the 60 MP for the 20 hits, then obviously the entire skill is gonna do 50% less damage. Awaken, 9,999 heal when close to death, as well as defense and M&D buff, 50%. This is huge because it helps with your guard heal. So whenever you're guarding, your M&D buff now shoots that guard heal through the roof. So she goes from healing like maybe 300 each time to like almost 1,000. It's huge. Determination. This helps you so your units, it doesn't have to be on your tank, it can be on your DPS or healer. It makes it to where they cannot be one-shotted from full health. And when determination procs, awaken procs. So not only are you preventing getting one-shotted, in that split second, awaken will also proc and heal you back to full health, assuming you don't have, a fuck ton of HP. Christmas Carol, this was on Expet's arc. Apply a damage taken minus 10% buff to unit for 100 seconds. Cuts effect by 1% every 10 seconds. So matches generally run, depending on how good your team is, matches generally run like maybe 30 seconds, right? So even then, 5 SC for, this damage reduction, this is huge. Totally worth. Steely Intent, for 4 SC, when on the ground, physical damage taken minus 10%. All of her skills are on the ground, but while you're guarding, which is what I'm going to move into next, while you're guarding, you're on the ground. So while you're guarding, you take less damage, as well as all of the guard package buffs or benefits that you get. So normally, if you aren't running this or don't have an accessory that has guard, you can just simply equip the guard skill, which is only 1 SC.
We have quite a bit of auto guards, don't we? Chance for auto guards?
On equipments, yeah, we do.
Yeah, we have a free stuff.
Well, yeah, we have a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I want to say
but again, it's a combination of the curse nil and the auto guard. Okay, so Steel Guard. When guard is activated, take less damage. Vigilance, this increases the chance to guard. Spell Guard. A lot of people overlook Spell Guard as well as Magic Guard. So Spell Guard, self-explanatory. If you only have guard, you have a chance to guard against physical attacks. Spell Guard makes it to where you can guard against magic. So now you have, I guess, double the chances to proc guard. Heal Guard. When guard is equipped, HP recovers slightly when guarding. So Heal Guard and Magic Guard, they both proc off of every single hit that you receive. So you guard a skill that does 20 hits, you're going to heal 20 times so long as your guard doesn't break. Same thing with Magic Guard. Magic Guard heals 1 MP for every single guarded hit. You guard 20 hits, you recover 20 MP. And this goes in conjunction with Celestial Mass. So while you're guarding and gaining MP through Magic Guard, you're fueling the MP needed to make use of Celestial Mass. So it's a very good combination. Grand Guard, it makes it to where your guard is less likely to be broken. So longer times for healing, longer times for gaining MP. And
Full on
fast,
tank.
yeah, just straight up tanking. Fast Magic Barrier, self-explanatory for 20 for 2 SC at battle start. You get a 40-second buff for minus 20% magic damage taken. There's a lot of mages on defense, like Eliza, in particular, Shift Eliza, which hits extremely hard.
Yeah.
So this helps guard against her. Fast Vitality, I mean, you don't really need it. I put it there just for more HP, just because I don't know. I'm sure there's other ways I can min-max my SC, but this is what I chose to run, and it's working. Yeah, okay.
Replace it with Lich Heart when you get it.
if I had the Arc, sure. But yeah, so that's what I have on her. And if you look at her ailment res, with everything that I have on her, she is literally nil to everything except for silence. But she's not casting anything, so that really doesn't matter. And it's okay because most teams run Spell Render on default. Well, with the Spell Render nerf, a lot of teams have been switching up, but for the most part, people still use Spell Render. And it's okay that she's susceptible to silence, because if she happens to get silence, she'll now make use of Is That All? When she is silenced, she'll now take 20% less damage. So pretty great. All right, now as for the arcs, if you're using her as a tank, there is one thing that she struggles with. And because she's a female, she can't make use of Girls Party, because that, if you're a male, you get +1 allure. If you're a female, you get -1 allure. So basically, she has a hard time holding aggro. But you can use the arc Hagiopolis of Adon, which gives you a +2 allure. When HP is at least 50%, become more likely to be targeted. So +2 allure right here. When HP is 50% or less, defense and M&D +30%. So when she's 50% or less, this defense buff and M&D buff is gonna help her survive, and that M&D buff is gonna boost her guard heal through the roof as well. Now, I'm running Theopolis on her. And the reason is for that is not only does it debuff the enemy, it lowers their M&D and defense by 50% or M&D and defense by 50% for 10 seconds. So that helps your team initially nuke everyone. And then the second part, if unit is affected by weak or other debuffs that lowers all attribute resistances, ignore debuff and give all attribute resistances +10. So in arena and like the higher level teams, people run Gaze at the End on their defense. Yep. So this lowers the opposing enemy's attribute resistances by 10. But Theopolis flips that, and now Jean is gonna have +10 element resist to everything. So her coat or her clothes give her 10 earth res, right? So now she's neutral. So if people happen to run Gaze on defense, Theopolis is going to make it to where she's +10 or positive to every single element, which is great because now units can't make use of physical weak point boost. So very nice. Let me check real quick. Do I have... Oh, I don't have skill charge 3 on her. Interesting. Okay, so we'll replace Fast Vitality, and we'll give her skill charge 2. Now, skill charge 2 because her S2 is exactly 20 SET. So this will help her have an S2 at the start and help her be able to dash across to the other team. Okay, so I'll put it on auto and I'll go up against some teams and see what she can do. Okay, well, this is pretty easy team. Beat down. I honestly don't know if I can beat on auto. We'll go ahead and see. Oh man, it's so laggy. Thanks, Itis. Okay, so you see, she's got Silence Rest already on her. So she's already taking 20% less damage. And the problem that I mentioned where she doesn't hold aggro, now, everything's going to shit.
Oh, Yuri, you're so squishy, bro.
But you can see that she's, taking
Tanking.
hits like a champ. Yeah.
It's also ooh.
Look at her guard heal procs.
Yeah.
I got destroyed, but that's fine. Look at this. Look, just guarding everything. Let me go ahead and look at the damage report. So look at that. Out of all that damage that they did, or that Vayne did, she only took 48,000. Oh, no wonder I have on S1.
That's what I told you. I was like,
it's fine. It's okay. Yeah, okay, we'll go
on that one.
Sure. Okay, so now that we have her on the right priority, oh, my screen just went all crazy.
There we go.
See, so she doesn't hold aggro very well.
Very nice.
It would help if you could see the frames,
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and give her Hagiopolis just so that she has the allure on her. There's not many good teams to demonstrate because everyone's like has KH. I don't know. Let's go against him.
That's a new team for him.
Now it's not gonna go well because if you notice, there's more to Arena than what meets the eye. But because Granadas is positioned at the very bottom, now they're gonna be near Yuri and Theria, so they're more than likely gonna die. But look at her guard heals.
Is that 1,000 her regen from her clothing?
Yep.
That's nice.
Well, from the M&D buff, so pretty nice.
Yeah, Yuri's awesome, man.
I recently found out he was pretty good.
I've been saying it. He's awesome for Arena.
Yeah, for Arena, pretty great.
Yeah.
So far, I know there's people that are watching. Any questions about Arena in particular that you guys might have? I did say I was gonna work on make a, I guess, free to play build. So while I'm adjusting that, if you guys have any questions or if DK you wanna bring something up that they ask while
Um,
I do this.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Nothing like questions yet so far. I think everybody's pretty much using her that wanted her. I know that true she has damage rest tanks will actually know her damage comparable. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's Man, we pretty much covered it, man. She's great at hitting attribute weaknesses. When she's hitting attribute weakness, she's really really great. I know me and Odin have been talking daily about her because he pulled her too, and he was saying that she is, when it comes to like content like outside of like what is it, the res, she needs like Slayer, she needs that and this, but you know, she like I said, she has a purpose. And honestly, for reroll target, I know a lot of players are probably starting new with the Bayonetta. She is 100% the reroll target for me if I were going to be starting a new account. There's not a lot of damage reduction, so picking her first would be my go-to. And then if you, of course, you really wanted to get Bayonetta, go ahead and do that. But I know a lot of people are here for Bayonetta, so hell, I would just reroll for both and see if you get lucky. But you know, that's definitely what I think any new player should definitely do, is go for her first, because she's going to be a lot more value in the future, just in case Gen never makes a return, which I don't think we've had any. We don't know. It would be their fourth time returning, is it not? Fourth time returning?
Third
Third,
time.
third time returning. Yeah,
Yeah, third time.
third time returning. Yeah. Um. So I know a lot of things with one of my biggest things with Jean is that for newer players, if you don't have Honey Elixir, it's kind of rough. If you also don't have Purple Orb, it's pretty rough because she only has 2 stocks of S3, which is going to be her prize winner damage. Just because it's really good and really fast, comparable to Stan's damage. You know, you do have one option though. You can run, what is it called? The arc that gives you 1 extra stock.
Oh, Stardust Live.
Stardust Live will give you 1 extra stock for her, but I know a lot of people will not always run that arc. But I mean, it's if you definitely want the extra stock, you can, and it's on general pool. So S1 is pretty slow because of the wind up. S2 is nice because it closes the gap, so it can get you in there quicker. She does need a little bit of speed too, because she's a slow runner.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just like a couple things that I really do, just because my biggest complaint was that the trait one, I wish it would have came with just an extra 10,000. Maybe 20,000 cap, just because I thought maybe, you know, damage wise I would like to see a little more damage, because I just recently got Lanceable, and for such a newer unit, I would want to see like on damage without any kind of enablers. So that was like my biggest nitpick, really. But yeah, so that's pretty much my whole output on that. So yeah, definitely, which is good, because whenever you have a reroll target like that, it's really good to go for somebody like that. So yeah, we always want to try to take as less damage as possible for future content. One of my biggest things was I wanted to know how to destroy her in arena, because I knew that whenever people did pull her, one of my things was for nuking her was grapple. Grapple absolutely destroys her. It does take a little bit because there's a lot of buffs and all this crap's happening at the first 20 seconds of the fight, but once it kind of diminishes, grapple does handle herself really well because she attacks your M and D. So, and she's more of on the defensive side. But other than that, if you're not going to get to grapple, she's going to be extremely, really durable in arena. Which right now I'm having the funnest time with grapple in arena. Just because of all the stall teams that I've had to deal with over the past 6 months and all that crap. So it's really nice to see a unique character like grapple come in. But yeah, still Vayne, still kicking ass as usual. I do like having fun with Yuri a lot. Earth is just doing really well, and now Lightning's been doing really well with Ray and Jean, killing it, man, in arena. It's really fun, especially if you're using the team with Ray with damage reduction. If you're not going full tank on her in arena,
Right.
so yeah, super cool.
Okay, so I think I pretty much have her as like budget built as possible, while still trying to get the best that you could maybe get. Okay, so for the gear, Shining God Gold, you know, this is free to play. You have to grind for it, but it is free to play. Not only does this give you an allure, but it also gives you minus 20% physical damage taken, HP, some defense, and a chance to nullify physical damage. So great. Shield of Aegis, while she's guarding, she takes minus 25% less damage. But there is also this one new piece of gear that we got recently, which gives you the chance to auto guard. It gives you a guard rate plus 5%, so increases your chance to guard, as well as physical and magic attack damage taken minus 8%. So you can play around with either one and see which one plays out for you. But I guess I'll go ahead and give her this too, just to show it off. Now, Holy Water. This is I'm using it just because, again, at the later ranks, there are teams that have the Gaze at the End with skill on probably a support. And not only does it lower attribute resistances, but it also has a chance to curse enemies at the battle start. And since she's weak to curse, she's more susceptible to getting cursed, which means she won't be able to use her S2 to dash to the other side. Now, most Holy Water gives you Curse Nil, as well as giving you Curse Res +2. So basically, you get +4 to curse just by having this. So it takes you from being weak to being nil plus. So even if there's like an enemy like V that lowers your ailment resistances, you're still going to be nil to curse. So she'll never be cursed. Okay, so this is about as budget friendly as I could make it. Durability, this is on Hagiopolis, minus 10% damage, physical damage taken. Cloak of Majesty, minus 10% damage taken from non-boss enemies, so Arena. Celestial Mass, Spear High Boost, because again, we just want her to absolutely tank, and this is going to help her. Awaken, Decoy, just in case she happens to die, she'll at least revive. Determination, I already explained that. Allure, just so she holds the aggro, and then the guard package. Skill charge 2, so that she can dash over, past magic barrier. And I gave her HP 4 as well as HP plus, just for more HP. Now, if you don't have Theopolis, you can run Hagiopolis, or you can run Hagiopolis for the allure as well as that defense and M&D buff, or you can also run Four Lords of Ruin. So, since I'm not using limited skills, which means I can't make use of Stone World, which nullifies defense piercing effects, this arc, I think, is one, if not the only arc that nullifies defense piercing effects. When you have armor equipped, nullify defense piercing effects, and chance for physical damage taken minus 50%. So this is a 20% chance, if I'm not mistaken, to reduce the physical damage you take. And it's per hit, not per attack. So if an enemy hits you with 20 hits, now out of those 20 hits, you'll have, higher chance to proc this. So yeah, this is an option that you can use. So we'll run with that just for this demonstration. All right. I don't want to completely get destroyed, so we'll find somebody. Okay, yeah. So this is a good one. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, she does not have her paid clothes, so now she's susceptible to Night's Lair or Night Buster from Yuri, from Vayne. She's gonna get hit harder now.
Not much harder.
Not much harder, but as you see, she is tanking.
Yeah.
I mean, it does help that, Vayne and Yuri are taking him out, but
Nice.
Okay, so
Dang,
what I'm
dude.
gonna do is
Nice.
I'm gonna fight the same team, but I'm gonna get rid of Vayne, Yuri, and Theria. I'm just gonna put units that'll die easily and let her just tank hits.
Wall, you want my free? Yeah, let me just rip her off my screen and give it to you.
Yeah, we'll put Carol, Vizard, and Sahagin. Let's go ahead and fight him again.
Well, apparently it's not gonna be free because John's bad influence. Because her paids are really, really good.
Oh yeah.
Kind of sucks.
All right, let's see what she can do.
You Larry? It's Yuri, man. You just I'm watching them just like take anything out that comes in.
Yeah, they all just died. But Jean just absolutely survived.
Yeah. Permission for luck. Yes, go ahead. Man, I don't have any luck right now, man. So you can take whatever's left. It's been rough since Zakes.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at the chat real quick.
One guy asked, just finished building, haven't really tested her. How is she an arena DPS? Or how is she as an arena DPS? Because we've been doing more tank.
Right. So sorry for the late answer, Blizzard. But as her DPS in arena, it's okay. Like it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's good. But I think using her as a tank is probably her best role in arena, in my opinion. Just because she makes use of that, that attribute debuff, which makes her be more tanky. Not only that, but it gives survivability to the entire team. Her DPS, it's good, but if you have her and you have the tools to make her a competent tank, definitely go that route instead of DPS. Like, of course, it just depends on who you have. Like, I have Yuri and Vayne, so like I don't need her to be a DPS. I can use her as a tank. But yeah, to answer your question, her DPS is good, but it's nothing crazy. Here, we'll go to more fights and just let her take all the hits.
Is there any other way of getting an anti-knight slayer that's on her paid? Is there any? I can't think of any other way to get that. Is there an accessory, a weapon, skill? No, right?
No.
I want to say I saw there's arc maybe. I can't remember. There's so many arcs now.
There is a way to reduce anti-type damage taken on an arc, but it is on a collab arc.
Yeah. Which collab arc is it?
Trials of Mana. All right, so if you look at her, look at this. Look. Just.
Oh yeah, taking all of it. And these are all DPS that are.
Yeah, those are all just DPS units. And she's just guarding. I mean, she took all of that damage, but she only took 43,000 damage.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot. But yeah. Anybody else have arena questions?
No, nothing in the chat.
Nothing? Okay. I think it might be safe to wrap this up, I guess. Overall, I'm really glad I got her. I have not used her much in PvE. I've solely used her for PvP, which is where I think you'll get more mileage out of her. Is she worth chasing? That's always the question. Just look at her kit. See what she brings to your team, what she's going to bring to your team. Do you need this type of unit on your account, right? If you are extremely adamant about arena, I'm not going to tell you to go pity her, but if you happen to get her, then yes, she's going to be a great addition to your arena team. The arc, I really wish I had it, but I don't.
Not yet. You'll get it.
Not yet. Pulley's butterfly, I would absolutely slap this on her, but I don't have it. But yeah, Jean is pretty great. I like her a lot.
Home screen, great. Home screen, home screen.
Only for the podcast. It's gonna go back to Bayo afterwards.
Oh, nice.
For
Courses.
research purposes.
Research purposes. All right. Well, yeah. I guess we can end it here then. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the event's pretty much the same, right? We have
the event.
the event's pretty much just prisms.
It's fucking boring. Just rinse and repeats.
Yeah.
Quests. If you have Bayo, do her.
You think she's
event.
gonna be valuable in time trials? A lot of people are wanting it.
Time trial.
Yeah. We are getting time trials, right?
Yeah, we're gonna.
We're gonna say. Yeah.
I think she will, maybe just because of her S3.
Quick it is.
But I have a feeling. I have a sneaking feeling that Zykes is going to be used in the time trial.
Ooh, yeah. Okay. Great. RNG damage. Let's go.
I mean, I don't know. I have a feeling he might be used.
Hey, maybe. Yeah, you could be right. Wait, 100%. I think Bale might be pretty good too in the time trials.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I think Bale 100% would probably be used.
Mm-hmm.
The Jean, I don't see it that much just because of her damage cap and then that conditional damage cap as well. And then her only real DPS skill is her S3. So if you aren't, able to fuel that, then I don't know.
Maybe
But we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thanks, Jawline. Thank you for all the information, man. I know a lot of people have needed some help in Arena. They definitely got it today, especially for building any kind of tank, because all of that information is universal. So it's really cool. But guys, thank you for hanging out with us in the podcast. I don't know if we'll be doing one next week, because next week's gonna be pretty dry unless we decide to do some kind of content for podcasts. But again, it'll probably be every other week. But again, guys, thank you so much for hanging out, and you guys have a great night.